Hello my brothers and sisters of the Order, welcome back to the Order. I'm Celtic Templar, and welcome back to the Order, and welcome back to another how-to video. And today, for this how-to video special, we're going to be doing a video on the Roman Britons, or the late Roman Britons, during the time of the, when Rome left Britannia. Now we're actually going to be covering the Warlord edition version, which, well, I am dressed as, yes, that's right, a, Roman Briton warlord. Now, when we think of Roman Britons, automatically, we think of the time of Boudica, or the time before that, but that's not Roman Britain. Mostly, the Roman Britons were after the Nero incident, and in doing so, when we take a look at the 3rd century crisis, for example, the evolution of the armor starts to evolve. And the fact is, the Roman Britons, by the time of the fall of the Western Roman Empire, mainly during the late 4th century or early 5th century, when the Romans left, that's when this set of armor started to be used by the Roman Britons. Now, if we do our history and such, we can understand that, one, the Roman army left Britannia during this point in time. And when they left Britannia, guess what happened? The Romans, when they left, the Britons were left to defend for themselves, who of which had no armies. That's right, the Roman people had no form of military units except for the Roman military. But when the Romans left, guess what happened? The Britons were left to defend them for themselves against the invading Picts. And when the Picts started to invade and attack and go further southward from Hadrian's Wall, the the Britons kind of got screwed. In fact, there's an old tale that's stating that the barbarians pushed the Britons back to the sea, and the sea pushed the Britons back towards the barbarians. So the story pretty much goes along from there. Now, the equipment I'm wearing is that of a Roman Briton warlord, kind of like what we think from the tales of King Arthur. In fact, whenever I think of the stories of King Arthur, I automatically think of him and his guys dressing up something like this. Now, this would be what a nobleman would have worn. They would have worn different variations on sets of armor. Now, however, their weaponry would somewhat still be the same. They would have had a late Sparta-style sword, sometimes had engraved jewelry upon it, same with their shields. Their spears, they would have sets of javelins, probably sometimes one or two, as well a elongated type of thrusting spear. That which kind of would be just like the Greek dory spear. In other words, as soon as, say, the front end got broken off, they would switch to the, butt spike, that of which they would use majority not for, killing you, not exactly meant for mostly like what people think, like for twisting it like this, but they would mostly use it for balance or as well to finish off their opponents, especially in the rear ranks. That and as well, they would also use it to, as well, dig the spike in, especially when it came to cavalry units sometimes, or accounts from what I've read. Now, the javelins they would have mostly used would have been that of barbed tips, but unfortunately I've looked all over online, they don't have them, so these javelins will have to do. Now, the armor they would have worn would have varied depending on their wealth. The equipment I'm wearing is that of a very wealthy Roman Briton warlord, and in doing so, I have the style of the late Roman style greaves, that of which would protect my my shins against a sword blow, especially if I'm on horseback. Now, they would have also worn this, the late Roman style scale armor. Now, they would have also worn mail, but this would also be somewhat very rare, a lot more rarer than this. And the fact is, this would be somewhat a little more common for a warlord to wear because, one, there were also cheaper quality designs. As y'all saw in my last video on the evolution and history of the scale armor. Now, scale armor, though, as I said, this would evolve in different variations and ways. Now, there is some reports that stated that they wore laminar, but I doubt that was actually true. Now, maybe if there was a cavalry unit, I can understand. But the problem is, laminar, it takes a lot longer to repair and as well replace. So I think they would have probably mostly used something like this, especially seeing the fact they were fighting against the Saxons. Now, when people automatically take a look at this, they automatically say, oh, Templar, this isn't a the Roman. No, this is not a Roman soldier. This is a, well, Roman Briton. But the thing is, they look so near identical. They kind of got mistaken for it. In fact, at least 2 of my viewers actually stated on our voting that apparently these guys were very little talked about. Well, mostly yes and mostly no. Due to the fact, because of Arthurian legend, I always think of Arthur and his guys looking something like this. Now, as I stated, the armor would vary depending on what they would have worn. And as well also for the footwear. Now, what I have here is that which, as I said, a upper class warlord would have worn, but those that of which could have barely afford it could probably wear something like that of the open, the bigger scale design like this, rather than wear something like this. Now, mail would probably be the most common that they would have worn. So I'll be doing different variations on what the equipment they would have been worn, mainly with the upper body, because one, I'm not going to change the footwear, nor am I going to change the greaves, because that's going to take too much time and such and such. But anyways, guys, sit back, relax, and watch us duke this out, shall we? like that little bit of a run around. Now, as y'all saw, me and my armor, the major point, I was getting very fatigued in my mail and scale armor, and even when I went down to mail, this is why I kind of like the scale armor a little bit more. I have no form of armor protection, which makes it a little bit lighter. Mail armor is great in light. The problem is it acts like a secondary coat of clothing, and in doing so, it gets very hot very quickly. So, to any of y'all that end up wearing mail, your Roman attire or Roman Britain kit, be cautious that you might end up going unconscious. I had to drink like lots of water. In fact, I had to take several breaks because of the switching out of the armor and all that. So yeah. Now, in the entirety of the equipment, I hear many people are already asking, what the hell is this thing around my neck? Why am I wearing a scarf in this 100-degree weather or whatever? Well, that's the thing. This scarf is not meant to keep me warm and such. This is meant to keep my neck protected from a sword blow, especially to the throat. As well, it also keeps the back neck flap from getting stuck in the armor, which this is one of the major reasons I kind of like this attire feeling and look. But this is kind of why I love scale armor. It's lighter and effective, and it's perfect. So if any of y'all want to look like a Roman Britain warlord, this would probably be your best option to go with. Now, in doing so, I put into the video and showed y'all that there were different variations in the armor and equipment. Now, as I said, when it comes down to it, the scale would have been different comparing onto the wealth of the warlord and such, but as I said, it varied from person to person or user to user. And most likely, the militiamen units, or in this case, the warlords in this case, would have been the most better off, the nobles. Because these guys, now the one major problem though I had was this bloody spear. It is heavy. This was meant, because there is no way you could use this spear on one-on-one combat. You can only use this if you're in a formation style warfare. This is probably why most Celtic warriors or Germanic type warriors and such kind of switched from the longer style spear like this to a more body spear, kind of like something like this. This is kind of why most warriors would have downgraded the spear. It would have been lighter and effective for more meant on contact use, and it would have been a lot lighter to use, meaning it would have been in and out. With the late Roman spears, on the other hand, these things were heavy and cumbersome. And the problem is, these were a problematical piece. These were more of a pike, really, than they were a normal type of spear. Kind of just like that of a dory spear used by the, Greek hoplites. Which is kind of weird because the Romans kind of defeated the hoplite formation and ended up using it later on down the line because they found it a lot more better to protect their big empire. Of which you'll probably see me doing another few videos on very soon. So, yeah. But we will be doing another 3 other videos, y'all, on the late Roman army. One covered in the 3rd century crisis, the late Roman soldier, and as well the late Roman officer. Anyways, guys, like and subscribe for more, especially if y'all are fans of, Roman Britain history. Here's the thing, like and subscribe so that way we can actually get more, viewers to see this historical type of group. Anyways, guys, hope to see y'all in the next one. Like and subscribe for more. And if y'all have any ideas on warriors from history we should be covering, let me know down in the comments below. I'll be happy to look them up and such, because any one of the warriors from history that y'all can find, let me know, because I love a challenge. But yeah. But now, I'm also hearing a lot of y'all also asking, though, the Templar, for equipment, how much would this actually cost? Well, if I had to put down it into money-wise, the armor and scale armor and helmet alone, this would have cost up to about, and as well even the plate, I would have to assume up to about, probably as much as a $200,000 house would be. So I'll pretty much leave that calculation right there, so that way any of y'all from other countries can understand my point. But the sword alone, this would have cost up to a Lamborghini or any type of modern day sports car that would be a lot extremely expensive. So yeah, as well, the spears, these would be the most common thing on the battlefield. So, but yeah, we will be discussing various other groups in history and warfare as well. But if y'all want to check out my other videos, such as on the Picts, or as well even on the Germanic, or I should say the Gothic Noble video, which is kind of nearly similar to this one, I highly recommend checking them out. Or as well, y'all can even check out our other videos very soon, as well even also our scale armor video, which we had in the process before this. But many of you pretty much will ask this big one. But Templar, why didn't Rome just allow the never invade Britain? What would it look like? Well, pretty much I would assume that Celtic Britain would still be around to this day. Yeah, that's a what-if scenario probably for the month of March. So, anyways guys, like and subscribe for more, and I hope to see y'all on the next one. Anyways guys, like and subscribe for more, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Anyways guys, see you around. Now then, where are those picks? You need to give them a good thrashing.